Chu.
Well, Ranking Member Smith questioned Mr. Colbert's expertise as a witness. However, I would like to point out that in the past, Republicans have had witnesses such as Loretta Swit, who played Hot Lips Houlihan from MASH, to testify on Crush videos, and that Republicans invited Clint Eastwood to testify before Congress about ADA lawsuits. And Republicans also invited Elmo to talk about music education at the House Appropriations Subcommittee on Labor, Health, and Human Services. Well, on another note, Mr. Colbert, thank you for attending this hearing and highlighting the plight of farm workers. The situation is indeed dire, and I know from my state of California, I heard about the case of Mr. Asuncion Valdivia, who came from Mexico for a better life and took a job that few Americans wanted to do. Every day in the hot summer months, he picked grapes for 10 hours straight in 105-degree temperatures, and then one day he fell ill. He fell ill and could not stand up, and G. Maria Vineyards, rather than calling the ambulance, told his son to drive Mr. Asuncion home. On the way home, Mr. Asuncion died of a heat stroke, and his son had to watch his father die of a preventable heat stroke at the age of 53. And in fact, this is only one of many stories like this. There have been 23 reported deaths since 2001, and those are only the reported deaths. But this was the last straw, and that's why I worked with Mr. Rodriguez and UFW in carrying legislation to require water, shade, and rest periods on every farm so that outdoor workers could be protected. So I'm wondering, Mr. Colbert, did any of the farm workers that you picked with talk about working conditions having to do with heat, with water, shade, rest periods, any of those kinds of things?
No, we didn't talk. Thank you very much for asking me the question, first of all. But no, we didn't really talk that much. I tried to engage them in conversation, but I don't speak Spanish very well. And they seemed very busy with the beans and with the corn. And I tried to get them to sing field songs and that sort of thing, and they didn't seem to have any. And so I never really found out about what their working conditions were like in terms of what medical was applied, what medical services were available to them, or what health care was available to them, or what kind of breaks were available to them. They seemed to be working the entire time.
Did you experience any of these issues pertaining to heat?
It was very hot. That's what's a yes. It was hotter than I like to be.
And considering the conditions, why would any American worker want to work on jobs like this?
I don't know if Americans would or would not want to work on jobs like this. I believe that Americans are tough. I agree with the congressman that Americans are tough and they do tough jobs. It's not a job I want to do, and not a lot of people took Mr. Rodriguez up on his offer. And it seems from the statistics that my researchers found that there is a lack of labor in parts of the United States. And that seems to say that Americans don't want to take these jobs, but I don't want to say definitively that they won't.
Mr. Colbert, you could work on so many issues. Why are you interested in this issue?
I like talking about people who don't have any power. And this seems like one of the least powerful people in the United States are migrant workers who come and do our work, but don't have any rights as a result. And yet we still invite them to come here, and at the same time ask them to leave. And that's an interesting contradiction to me. And you know, whatsoever you do for the least of my brothers, and these seem like the least of our brothers right now. A lot of people are least brothers right now because the economy is so hard, and I don't want to take anyone's hardship away from them or diminish anything like that. But migrant workers suffer and have no rights.
Well, thank you for that. And in response to Ms. Swain, I would say that according to the most recent data, in 2007, 8.8 million Californians worked for minimum wage, many of them in undesirable jobs. According to your analysis, if we only paid Americans more, they would be willing to work in the fields. But 8.8 million are already taking that lower paycheck. We still don't see Americans flocking to work in the fields. And that, I think, says a lot. And with that, I yield back.
Gentlelady